allow you to manage data, create pipeline easier for Apache Spark-based data lake. Let me show you an example. Assuming you are a trading company, your business covers NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. You need to first ingest trading data to your data lake daily. Second, you need to find top 3 stocks by trading volume daily. Data Manage allows you to create pipeline that triggers predefined data applications. So let's define application first. We have a data application that generates mock trading data. That application has been deployed to HDFS already. We just need to register the application with Data Manager. So first, click Applications, click Create, and let's specify the application name. Let's call it Import Trading Data. Let's say this belongs to the trading team. And let's put a description so people understand what this application is. And we know this application has been deployed to this location. And let's save the change. Now let's create a pipeline that imports the trading data. This pipeline will kick off 2 tasks in parallel. Each task will import data from New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. And at the end, it's going to create a view. Now let's click the Pipeline tab and click the Create button. Let's call this Import Trading Data pipeline. And it belongs to the trading team. And the category, let's call it Daily Trading. And let's put a description here. This pipeline, because it is ingesting the raw data, it does not depend on any other assets. Now let's create a task called Begin, and it's a dummy task. Now let's create another task called Import Trading Data NASDAQ, and that is, let's select the type Other, and it's going to invoke our data application, and let's specify the arguments. Our data application is designed to be generic so that you can pass different arguments to instruct it to do different things. Now let's create another task called Import Trading Data New York Stock Exchange. And again, if the type is Other, we're going to invoke our data application, and let's set the parameter to New York Stock Exchange. Let's click Save. Now in the end, we are going to create another task to create a view. Now let's call it Import Trading Data Create View. And click Other, select Import Trading Data. And this time we're not going to pass any argument so that the data application knows it needs to create a view. Let's click Save. Now because we have 4 tasks now, let's set the dependency. So Import Trading Data NASDAQ need to run after Begin. Import Trading Data New York Stock Exchange need to run after Begin. Import Trading Data Create View need to run after Import Trading Data NASDAQ. Import Trading Data Create View need to run after Import Trading Data New York Stock Exchange. Now we set the dependency. Let's save this pipeline. Now you can see there's a spinning wheel and the airflow DAG. That means airflow is we're creating an airflow DAG. Now airflow DAG is created. You can see this is the related airflow DAG that exactly represents the sequence that we expect. Let's go back. Now let's create a pipeline to get the top 3 stocks. Click Pipelines, click Create. Let's call it Top Picks, and it belongs to the trading team. Let's call the category Daily Trading, and let's put a description in the pipeline, because this pipeline depends on the the ingested trading data from New York's exchange and NASDAQ. So let's say this depends on the trading data. The trading data is the data set name. 1.0 is the major version. 1 is the minor version. And followed by this part is a Ginger template. And DT is the execution context. We'll talk about execution context later. And this view is a union of the two assets from New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. Let's create a task. So this time we're going to create a Spark SQL task. A Spark SQL task contains a bunch of Spark SQL statements. Let's set this task name called top picks and click add step. Let's call this step also top picks. Now, in order to run a SQL statement, you may need to refer a bunch of tables, and you need to import these tables here. So here, let's call the trading table is pointing to this data asset path. Let's click path. So later we can run a SQL statement. We can see when the from tradings, that tradings table is defined here. And after we run this SQL statement, we want to save the output. We want to save the output location to HDFS. Again, DT is the part of the execution context, and you can use the Ginger template here. And asset path is a logical path that how other people can access this data set. And then let's say that we're going to save as a Parquet file, and let's save this change. Now you can see this SQL task has one step, and that's the only step for this demo. Let's click save. Now we have this new pipeline. Because there's only one task in this pipeline, we don't really need to define any dependency. And let's click save changes. Save changes. Now you can see the Airflow DAG has been created. Let's look at Airflow DAG. Okay, that's really simple. It's just one task. We forgot to set the required asset in the top picks pipeline. Let's do it now. So we just set the asset path here and click the add button and click save. The reason is without that being properly set, your pipeline may be invoked without the required asset being ready, so that your pipeline may fail. Now let's create a schedule. Click the scheduler menu and click create. Let's call it daily trading. Let's put a description here. Let's set the category to daily trading. Let's set the context. This context is going to be shared between all the pipeline participate in the execution that is being created from this scheduler. You can see here is a Ginger template. It will get materialized when the execution being created. And you can see this scheduler will be triggered daily. Let's set the first day to today. Let's set the team to trading team and click save changes. Now let's look at executions. You can see there's one execution being created. If you look at the context, it is being materialized. Now let's look at the pipelines participate in this execution. This pipeline is being pulled in here is because the executions category is daily trading, and so that all the pipeline that is interested in the daily trading as category will be put in here. So you can see the status is the import trading data has been started. However, the top picks is still waiting. So this is exactly the sequence we want, because the top picks pipeline has to be wait until the import trading data has generated the data set it needed. Now you can see the import trading data is finished. Now the top picks is started. If you click the DAG run, you can see the run status of that DAG. So now it is finished. You can see the status is finished. Now let's go back to the data set. You can see the trading, we have two data sets, tradings and the top picks. Tradings is generated from the first pipeline. You can click this icon to see the schema. It has a market field, has a type field, has a symbol field, has a amount field, has a price field, and commission field. If you click the tradings, you can see all the assets associated with this data set. Now you can see these two assets are mapped to the physical HDFS location. However, this data set, this asset is a view because it has a loader. The loader name is called Union. So the system will union these two assets and provide a view to the user. You can also see the status for the top picks. The top picks only have one asset. Now you can also see the schema for the top picks, which only have a symbol and amount. Now let's take a look at the data using Jupyter Notebook. So let's look at the trading data. Let's pick one of the location and open the Jupyter Notebook. Let's paste the location here and let's run it. So you can see these are the sample data, and comparing to the schema we have, that matches pretty well. And let's look at the top picks data as well. Copy this location here, run it. So you can see exactly 3 rows, and the schema only have symbols and amount. Symbol is string, amount is long. If you go back here, click this schema, you have symbols, amount, symbol is string, amount is long. That matches pretty well as well. Okay, that's all.